Howdy, everybody. Pardon me for just a sec while I set this up. Kind of had it worked out. I think that's about right. How are we, kiddos? So not to be confused with, I don't know, my last couple stays in the Best Western. And I'm not going to give you the date. It's not that important. But I'm back here. I'm back again. And I got to wrap things up and get ready for work tomorrow, but I figured, well, you know, the winter is dragging on, so I need to make one more video and put it in the, in the bin. By the way, this 1792 is mighty tasty, and it's great because I found a rare liter bottle. The other one is one of those kind of cute short bottles, kind of like the Woodford, it's a, and this is a really pretty bottle, and this is really tasty bourbon. So this one certainly has my approval. It's not quite as strong as I usually like them. It's 93.7 proof. It's 94 proof. Not bad. Better than 80. All right. Oh, and as you might have seen, I got a tasty maple latte I got from Bantam, which I'll be sipping on too. I'm so glad that they're open on the off season, because President Coffee is open, and Lord knows that I'll do anything to avoid a Starbucks, but President Coffee is right in Lincoln Square. Bantam is down here on Steinway, and they're probably not terribly busy for these couple months, but I'm really glad that they're open. So I wanted to just address a couple fun points about the lead up to Gettysburg. As a lot of you guys may know by now, I'm a big fan of the stories of the few days prior to, and perhaps I'm biased because some of that involves my home state of Maryland. I'm actually not from PA, but from Central Maryland, as some of you know. First one I want to address is Stuart's ride, because it's a great story. It's a fun story. I'm not going to be able to tell you all about his ride in this video, because there's something else I wanted to mention. But as a lot of folks know, he arrived at Gettysburg quite late, and he was of course, as in charge of the cavalry, he was supposed to be R.E. Lee's eyes and ears, and that kind of broke down for many reasons. One reason, as I mentioned, I talked about this a little bit in the video that may or may not have posted yet at Oak Ridge, but I'm sorry, Barlow's Knoll. But first of all, the first two times that he was given permission to ride around the Army of the Potomac, they were pretty stationary, and this time they weren't just on the move, but they were hot stepping. They were moving fast. So you've got that. Another reason is that adjust this a little. The Union Army at that point wasn't just on the move and moving fast, but of course, there were about 90,000 soldiers, and they were spread in a big arc. In other words, that they knew mostly where the Rebs were, and if not at precise locations at precise times, they knew that they were generally rooting around in almost every major town in south central Pennsylvania. Hanover, York, Gettysburg, I guess Chambersburg, and others, and of course threatening the capital at Harrisburg, which was I think one of the biggest political goals of Robert E. Lee for this campaign, because don't forget, Robert E. Lee knew that he would not win a war of attrition by muscle with the Union Army, so he had to fight a political battle at the same time, try to win hearts and minds, as they say, and try to turn the public opinion and increase and aggravate the anti-war sentiment in the North. And that was a big goal, so if he got Harrisburg, he wouldn't have expected to lay siege to it for any long duration, but it would, like the threat the next year on the capital via the Battle of Monocacy, it would have scored him big political points. So, but there's a lot of, there's so much that's already been said and written about Jeb's ride. And why he took so long. Like I said, the Union was moving fast. They were on the move. They were found out in an arc shape, which made it impossible for him to communicate with Ewell once everybody was in motion. There's so many reasons. Of course, he encountered unexpected resistance in both Hanover and Westminster, Maryland, and Hanover, Pennsylvania on the way. But in my mind, and I'm not these big league experts, but in my mind, guys, the top reason why he took so dang long was because of the wagon train that he commandeered in Rockville, Maryland, being very close to one of the places I grew up, in Montgomery County, Maryland. Again, the wagon train was 125 wagons, 60 mules or so, and it absolutely slowed him down. I'm going to read a quick passage here. I'll show you the cover of the book in a minute. And this is Major H.B. McClellan, Adjutant General for the Confederate States, not to be, of course, confused with George McClellan. But he says that it was past noon when Stuart entered Rockville. While halting for the purpose of destroying the telegraph line and to procure supplies, information was brought of the approach to Washington of large wagon trains to Meade's army. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're going to skip that. It must be acknowledged that the capture of this train wagons was a misfortune. Not a fortune, but a misfortune. The time occupied in securing it was insignificant, but the delay caused by the subsequent march was serious, at a time when minutes counted almost as hours. Had Stuart been entirely unimpeded, he would have probably passed Hanover on the 30th before the arrival of Kilpatrick's division, and would have been in communication with General Lee before nightfall on that day. Again, the main point, is being the eyes and ears. This would have altered the result of the campaign is a matter of grave doubt, i.e., as I always say, this isn't to say, none of this is to say that this would have really altered the course of the war or of the Battle of Gettysburg. Let me make that perfectly clear. But it would certainly have relieved the moment of the cavalry around the rear of Meade's army of the disapprobation to which some have given expression. Now I'm going to read another passage about Meade's defensive line, which I've addressed. It's a good video, if you guys don't mind me saying, on the Pipe Creek line. I gave it Union Mills. I guess maybe it was this spring. Again, rewind through my reel, guys. There's a lot of stuff in there. As you've seen, there are 500 videos. Not all are on Gettysburg or the Civil War, but many are. I'm going to skip past some of this. There's some details that I would love to add here, guys, as far as the timing and the dates, but I just don't have time. But two developments spoiled Meade's plan. First, General Reynolds with the First Corps was near Gettysburg because of rumors that the enemy might be concentrating there. Blah, 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 blah. But instead, he should have received orders on July the 5th to fall back to Emmitsburg. But instead, he engaged in a skirmish which rapidly developed on a larger scale. Once again, both Reynolds and Ewell would have been wiser to, if possible and if practicable, avoid full-on engagement until the rest of their armies were there. That was always more or less the rule. Second, if Stuart had reached Lee in time, now this is fun. Second, if Stuart had reached Lee in time with information about the location of Meade's army along the Pipe Creek line, and the fact that Meade was seriously contemplating that as a position, as a place to have the war, Lee might have concentrated for an attack before the Pipe Creek defense line had been fully organized. So that's the fun what if. If Jeb didn't nab the wagon train right and was making really good speed through Maryland and had been in communication with Lee and could convey to him that Meade was seriously contemplating a battle at Pipe Creek, things may never have happened at Gettysburg. Again, that's a big what if, guys. And again, so let's say that the battle happened at Pipe Creek. That would have probably almost certainly fared worse for Robert E. Lee because of the surrounding terrain. Anyhow, guys, I'm about out of time. I'll just give you a quick look around the apartment or the hotel room. I'm sorry. Tonight I'm on floor 1. There's the quality. And it's just a great place, guys. I mean, it's under $100 on the off season. I'm now a frequent whatever guest, so I think I paid $90 for each night. But definitely recommend it, guys. My time is up. I've got to stop the video, so I will see you later.